और राजबाबू क्या लगा के पीछे लगा रखा है, क्या दिखाई दी?
अरे बहुत ज़्यादा
आदमी है ना।
A very good morning to all of you, faculty members, our honorable chief guest, Dr. C.P. Shrimali, Director of Family Care Gurgaon. I take immense pleasure in welcoming you to Delphi, the 18th National Management Convention of MGI Gurgaon. And we take pride in the fact that Delphi is India's only B-School event which focuses on research in various domains of management. It provides a perfect platform for practitioners and thought leaders from the industry and the student populace to come together to discuss contemporary issues faced by the industry. Famously known as the Red Carpet event of MDI, Delphi is a conference of 3 events: research panel discussions, Vincenza, that's the B-plan competition, and Cerebro, that's the case study competition. So we have a short video about Delphi. Can we like to show that first?
एक्चुअल इंडस्ट्री में क्या प्रैक्टिसेस हैं उससे एक्सपोज करना, और इसके लिए बच्चे इंडस्ट्री को कांटेक्ट करते हैं और उनसे ये जानने की कोशिश करते हैं कि वो किस एरिया में वो रिसर्च करवाना चाहते हैं।
Delphi is indeed a very critical club for an institute. It basically gives us a platform where we can connect to the industry experts, and especially our analysts. And me being part of Alcom, I understand how relevant this becomes in terms of reconnecting back to our alma mater.
Thank you, everyone. So, the 18th edition of Delphi has scaled new heights. We've partnered with over 24 corporates this year. Our research partners include Coca-Cola, ZS, Western Union, Lafarge. We have publicity partners such as Business World, Business Standard. And the convention has also got support from leading companies and giants like Jindal Power, Hero. So today at the inauguration ceremony, sir, our chief guest today needs no introduction. He's a person who's spearheaded not only the growth story of Bharti Airtel but of telecommunications industry in general. Mr. Manoj Kohli, Managing Director of Bharti Enterprises, as the chief guest to give a head start to the event. Mr. Manoj Kohli is the Managing Director of Bharti Enterprises and is responsible for the growth and operations of the Bharti Group. Prior to this, he was Managing Director and CEO International of Bharti Airtel wherein he headed the International Business Group, which leads the international strategy and vision for 20 countries. So Mr. Kohli has spearheaded the turnaround and transformation that is unprecedented in the African telecom sector in the 17 Africa operations covering networks, IT, BPO, distribution. Overall, his 35 years of work experience is equally divided between the manufacturing and telecom sectors. Mr. Kohli started his career in 1979 with the Shriram Group, where he initially led the HR function. He left as a vice president responsible for the air conditioning and refrigeration business unit after a total stint of 15 years. He joined Escotel, which he led for over 5 years as ED and CEO before coming on board at Bharti Airtel. Mr. Kohli is also associated with the GSM Association and Confederation of Indian Industry. He was adjudged Telecom Man of the Year and Telecom Person of the Year by Media Trans Asia and Voice and Data respectively. He is a member of the Academic Council of the Faculty of Management Studies and Faculty in Commerce and Business, and has been awarded as the Best Alumni Award by SRCC, Delhi University. Sir, we welcome you to Delhi. Obviously, our support goes without thanks to our convention mentor, Dr. C.P. Shrimali. Professor Shrimali has guided and mentored us through thick and thin and has helped Delhi reach the stature where it stands today. Professor Shrimali holds a master's degree in business administration and a PhD from the University of Hyderabad. He has a singular combination of entrepreneurial experience and teaching and consulting proficiency. He holds a diploma in labor laws from Delhi and management consulting course from University of Philippines, Manila. He has travelled extensively within and outside India for presenting papers in national and international conferences, conducting sessions and programs. He has also visited academic institutions and industrial organizations in USA, Italy, Belgium, Australia, you name the country. He has been serving as a member of the advisory board at 9 academic institutes and universities. He has also been a board of directors of IMPCL, a central PSU. Sir, we thank you for all your support and cooperation to the convention. We welcome you to Delhi. Now I shall request our chief guest, Mr. Manoj Kohli and Professor C.P. Shrimali to line the gathered in faculty members. said, I would also like to thank our faculty mentors and who have forever guided us in various research projects. So if Sameer and Gunjan can probably welcome our faculty members as well. Professor Avinash Kapoor, Professor Ashok Panwani, Professor Sangeeta Bhardwaj, Professor Rohit Prashant, thank you. I would also request now Dr. C.P. Shrimali to say a few words of encouragement.
Hearty welcome to Manoj ji. Kohli Sahab has been an institution by himself, not only a thought leader but also a great institution builder. He has not built one business, he has built a series of businesses, new businesses, not only in India, internationally. Also, he is known for creating organizations which are the best organizations in the world. So, when we are starting this journey, 18th Delphi, I think his encouragement, his blessings would be a great source of inspiration for all of us. So, on behalf of you all and on behalf of MDI, I extend a very hearty welcome to him and look forward to his address to this gathering. But before I request that, my thought goes back to 18 years ago, because it's the 18th edition, an annual edition, when we were discussing that what a good MBA is all about. What is an MBA and what is a good MBA? And at that time we were discussing that MBA should be creating thought leaders and change masters. That people should be able to create some new thought, should be able to do research, provide leadership in terms of generating newer and newer ideas, and also it should not remain just at the idea level, it should get into action and implementation. And therefore, that is the kind of emphasis we should have. And if that is the emphasis, what should happen in the academic curriculum, what should happen in the academic program, these issues we were discussing. So when we discussed about Delphic as a concept, we said that the day one when the student come here, yeah, there will be some classes, courses, curriculum, teaching, all those activities will be there. But an integral part of that learning exercise would be the student should take up some projects which are relevant for the industry, some areas where industry is wanting to get some new insight, and these things should be taken up. And during their stay at MDI, they should carry out that research, go to the markets, go to the industry, carry out research, and in this, our faculty colleagues will provide enough guidance that how to carry out that research, how to go about exploring things, and industry mentors also should help, and ultimately end result should be that we are able to come out with our thoughts and thoughts and new ideas on the kind of things which we have. And we said that when these ideas and thoughts are generated, we should have a kind of a convention where the thoughts are presented before the corporate leaders, and they are able to again provide some guidance that what is the direction forward and how do we move further in that direction. I am very happy that this initiative has grown, developed and reached a stage when this year they have taken very important themes for research. I think 10 major research themes have been taken up, and these themes will be presented during different sessions, and they will be guided by the corporate leaders who will be coming in and debating and discussing. Also, at that time we discussed that thought leadership is one part, action leadership is another part, but then our MBA students should be socially relevant. So Samaritans is another activity which we created, that our students should do a large number of activities for the society. Because if we are not socially relevant, then we are not really relevant. What kind of education we are doing which is not socially relevant? And that is why we encourage students to do a lot of activities which are good for the society. I remember about 4 years ago, our students debated among themselves that how should we celebrate our 15th August and 26th January as an event. And they said everybody goes celebrates a holiday, but yes, as student community will take up some initiative. We will create toilets in the villages, because some of the students, when they were doing some research in the rural area on some marketing projects they were working on, the girl students identified that, sir, we visited the village and there was a problem of a toilet. They said, our students are not talking about the problem, our students are talking about answers to the problem. And they said, yes sir, we would like to work on a project where we are able to create toilets. I recall that yes, 4 years ago we started that initiative, that in some villages, in some schools, within one day on 15th August and 26th January, we created some toilets. Only about a couple of weeks ago, some of my alumni were with, we had an alumni meet and some alumni came and they said, sir, we started that initiative, we want to take it still further. Now what is that? And then they said, sir, with our current batch of students, we also want to take up some kind of social projects. And one idea which they generated at that time, about 15 days ago, was that can we take up this issue of cleanliness at the school level? Can we take it up at the school level? And through pictorials, can we teach our youth, the young budding children in the school, in the villages, and develop a habit of cleanliness? So can we do something of that kind? And I immediately volunteered and I said, I think this is a great idea. This is a great idea because having a toilet is a basic necessity and we all will work for it. But having a clean toilet is another basic necessity. And that is why, to ensuring that the kind of cleanliness happens, so before I was coming here, I was speaking to Kohli sir that this is one initiative on which we just started thinking about, and he said, yes, in Bharti, we adopted something like 200 schools which we have created in the rural areas, and in those schools we have started many such initiatives, and I would be a very keen partner in this kind of initiative, because the purpose of what I am emphasizing, that yes, we have an MBA program for a couple of years, we undergo education on management, but that management education should be socially relevant, that management education should be building capabilities so that we are able to provide the leadership in the corporate world, and for that the basic foundation has to be research. And I am very happy the students do research, and this journey should not end. This is only the beginning of the journey. That inquisitive mindset should remain. So at the beginning I would only like to say that yes, you guys have started a good initiative, good research you have carried out. This is a great event. Please do your best and don't leave it at just an activity or an event. Make it a process so that it continues for long and becomes a very successful event for a long time to come, and it is cherished and remembered by everybody. I will not speak more at this occasion, but then only would like to welcome Manoj ji, because he has been building institutions and he is a source of inspiration for all of us. So we should listen to him, that what really goes on in building an organization, what really goes on in building a high performance organization, because he has been building organizations which are world class organizations. So I know that his time available is too short, because he is on a task force of the Prime Minister on doing business faster, ease of doing business. So in that there is a meeting in Delhi and he would be leaving soon, but before he leaves, I thought it would be a great idea if he shares his dream and thoughts with all of us, that how do we become a great manager in life, a great person in life. I please welcome Kohli sir.
Good morning. And Dr. Shimali, thanks a lot. I really feel very nostalgic coming back here. I remember many years back, I came here first time and Dr. Preetham Singh was in MDI, and since then MDI seems like home to me, and I have already committed to Dr. Shimali that I'll be happy to contribute in all areas which he thinks I could contribute. Not only in terms of my own experience, but also I don't mind investing some money in the villages you you take up. So please do tell me what else I can do. I'll be happy to do.
Thank you.
I'm also very happy that you have chosen this subject called Rediscover Management, because actually we are going through a massive rediscovery. And luckily you are born in the age of rediscovery. But before I come to that, I just want to check with you. How many of you did some exercise or yoga or jogging today morning? What, 5? Okay, that's a very important question, because what is happening across the globe is that agility and dynamism of countries, companies and individuals has to be far higher than yesterday. And I believe it has to start right in the morning every day. And if it starts, I can tell you, you will be so agile, so dynamic to do whatever you want to do. I know children sleep late, so they get up late, but I think still you can try to do it. And why I'm saying it? I'm saying it because I believe globally the changes which are happening are dramatically different than what happened 10 years back and 20 years back. US has just come out, is about to come out of a huge problem, huge recession. And luckily US is coming out with innovation. Last few quarters, US economy has done good growth. And it's only because US is able to confront the problems, correct the problems, take hard decisions and innovate. All the innovations, major innovations, whether it is in technology or telecom or in my industry, are all coming out of US. Europe is slow, much slower, and very frankly is far behind US, and is not able to change with agility and dynamism, which US is able to do. Hence, in future, Europe will definitely go through a lot of pain, which US has preponed. US actually has preponed the pain and gone through it in the last few years. Europe is postponing the pain. And in life, remember one thing, it's always good to prepone the pain. You prepone the pain itself comes down, and tomorrow is better. As a principle of life, please remember this. Japan is struggling, really struggling. Let's see what happens, because the new Prime Minister has announced new elections. So let's see what happens. China is going through a major change because it has had fantastic growth in the last 3 decades. But now issues of corruption, many such issues of society, Western China being far behind Eastern China, many regional problems, disparities, etc. are affecting China. India, I'll come to later. But overall, if you look at the globe is going for a major change in what it was doing till last decade, because sustainability of success and sustainability of progress will be difficult if the change does not happen. Similarly, companies. There are many companies which are changing, and there are many companies which are doing better, and there are many companies which are falling by the wayside. Can you imagine, would you imagine Nokia going through such a deep trouble? Never. Clearly, it means that if you miss a beat, even a very successful company and brand like Nokia can die. Are you understanding this point? Very, very important. Number one brand in the world, number one company in the world in handsets and devices is actually in deep trouble today because it did not remain agile and dynamic. And there are many examples like Kodak, for example. I mean, there is no demand for Kodak today. You know? So there are many companies which are able to change, want to change, they embrace change, but there are companies which do not. And those companies really die. And when I say die, I really mean it. You know, for companies like Kodak and others are dead. Nokia is half dead. It's not a great feeling because Nokia was a very high quality company. I've dealt with Nokia for so many years. But there are many other companies like this which refuse to change or change too slowly, and were not agile, were not doing yoga, were not doing exercise. And I'm meaning it symbolically. I'm not trying to embarrass you that you didn't do it in the morning. But I'm symbolically saying it's very important to be agile. At the national level, at the corporate level, and at the individual level. Let me come to India now. I think we have had a serious problem in the last few years. And I believe that the national morale of India, and I'm not making any political statement, so please don't take it as a political statement. I'm just saying national morale of people, society of India, was very low in the last 2 to 3 years. And I know my own children, my friends, I was not in India for the last 4 years, so I used to talk to them on phone or talk to them and I used to visit India, but very low morale. And I used to think what will happen, because if this country continues like this for some years, we'll have serious problems. Luckily, in the last few months, we have seen a very positive change after elections, and clearly the new direction and what I can say rediscovery of India has happened. Do you agree or disagree? Yeah. And I think our Prime Minister definitely is taking all the right steps to get the country out of that low morale situation. And every day some new initiative is triggered, every day some new idea is triggered. And I believe, and I hope I don't say it too early, I believe that next decade will be the golden decade of India. And you are so lucky that you are coming out of the educational institution in a golden decade of India. Which means that your careers, your experience, everything will be more positive than compared to people who came out of college maybe 3 years back or 4 years back. So India, just to tell you, I think today we have 1.5 trillion worth of economy, which is expected to go up to 4 trillion by 2025. Massive growth. If we sustain 7-8% growth, and I'm not talking about 8 or 9% or 10%, I'm talking about just 7 or 8% growth for the next 10 years, India will be a 4 trillion worth economy. Clearly, manufacturing is very important for India, and I think Prime Minister's initiative of Make in India will be big. Clearly, the other initiative which has been initiated on the basis of other sectors. We have seen defense sector, we have seen some other sectors being initiated. I think will also help India a lot. Ease of doing business, as Dr. Shimali was doing, we are 142 in the world. And it's really shameful. Really shameful. And now we are targeting to be 50, within top 50 in the next 3 years. And I'm sure in 5 years, 7 years, we could be top 25 or better. Because till we make India easy for investors, whether it's domestic investors or international investors, India will not be a preferred destination for anyone. We also believe that urbanization is a very big issue, and again the initiative taken by the Prime Minister on 100 smart cities. By the way, 42 cities in India are 1 million plus, and in the next 5 years 68 cities will become 1 million plus. So India has a fantastic potential to urbanize and grow the economy much more with orderly urbanization. You see Gurgaon. I shifted to Gurgaon in 1983. And I'm seeing fantastic growth in Gurgaon, but it's not as orderly as it should have been. It should have been more orderly, infrastructure, roads, water, power, law and order. These are the basics of any city. So fortunately, I think the government is taking up 100 smart cities, which I think will help India grow much faster. Also, there's another very important initiative, social initiative, which is what Dr. Saab also mentioned, of Swachh Bharat. And I think students should definitely, I recommend to Dr. Shimali that take up one village each class, so that you can bring up in 2 years' time that village up to better standards of education and better standards of sanitation. At least these two things you can take up. And MDI of course will help, I will help, all other, I'm sure there are many professional leaders will help. But it will also take you closer to the society. Another very important initiative is Digital India, which means we are connected. Entire India will be connected. All the 600,000 villages will be connected. And all the civic services will be on the smartphone. Which means if you want to make a passport, if you want to make a ration card, if you want to do some, there are hundreds of civic services which should be on a smartphone, not on papers, etc., etc. And that is the goal of the Prime Minister. So I'm just saying so much change is being planned. And I can tell you, government definitely is trying to become more agile. It's not easy for government, you know that. But they are trying their best to become agile and dynamic. In this situation, what should I do? When I say I mean I'm the student of NDI. Because I'm looking ahead of myself, for myself, a great career. Are you? Yes. I'm looking ahead for myself a very successful career, very high quality experience in high quality corporations, Indian companies or multinationals. How should I do it in this global environment, in this India environment? Is this the most important question uppermost in your mind? Or there's some other question? Huh? Is this the question in your mind? So I thought I'll give you some tips today, some ideas, and maybe you will gain out of those. Most important issue is, and I think that's my first suggestion to you, that agility and dynamism has to be in your mind and body. If you don't have mind and body which is agile, which is swift, which embraces speed in everything you do, you will not be able to achieve your goals. Speed in today's world is the most important parameter of success. If you are able to, and how will you do speed? You will do speed if you are fit, physically and mentally fit. It's very important to be physically and mentally fit. And for being physically and mentally fit, you need to really work hard. And otherwise, somebody else will work hard and beat you. And I'm not trying to bring up competitive intensity amongst yourself. I'm not trying to do that. I'm just saying each one of us should do it. It's not for others, but for myself. And 1 hour every day you should invest. And I invest it every day, 1 hour in physical fitness, in yoga. That helps your mind to be agile, fresh, thinking fast. That helps your body to respond fast and keep fit. If you have to work 18 hours a day, and I worked 18 hours, 20 hours a day, and Prime Minister Babu works 20 hours a day, he sleeps 4 hours a day. I think you can work much more. And I think that demands a lot of stamina, a lot of fitness, which I think should be your first goal. Now I just want to pause for half a minute and just check, are you okay with this? Do you think this is a doable Is it good? Any difference of opinion, and please don't hesitate raising a difference of opinion. Because you know, somebody could be thinking differently. That's fine. Nothing wrong in thinking differently. Are you comfortable with this?
Yes.
And do you think you will think about it and try to start it from tomorrow morning?
Yes, sir.
And I'm not forcing you like a parent, because parents normally don't get a good reception because they're forced kids. But I'm just suggesting to you that it will be great for yourself and your future. So that's number one. And I'll give you an example of speed. Now, for everything I'll give you an example of how I have done it and my company has done it. In 2005 or 4, I don't remember which year, we decided to expand the mobile network in the country in a big, big way. So I went to Sunil. Sunil, as you know, Sunil Mittal is the founder of Airtel and he's my boss. So I went to him and I said, Sunil, this year we'll go all the way and try to do 20,000 new towers. You know, these towers are 60 meters, 80 meters. In cities they are rooftop, but in outside cities they are ground-based towers. And they are very big. Have you seen the ground-based towers?
Yes, sir.
60 meters, 70 meters, 80 meters, 100 meters also, some of them. So I told him, I said, we'll plan about 20,000 this year. And you'll have to give me funds for that. And Sunil always is so large-hearted, he's so gracious. He said, Manoj, can you do 30,000? I said, I will do my best. 30,000 means 2,500 a month of 60 meters tower. And I remember one month my CTO was a guy called Don Price. He was an American. He was my CTO. So at the end of that month he came to me, next month, first or second, he came to me and he said, Manoj, I'm not happy. The last month, roll out. I said, why? He said, you know, my goal was 3,500. I did only 3,250. I said, but Don, why are you so upset? 3,250 is fantastic. 3,250 means you've done more than 100 towers a day. One tower every 15 minutes. And can you imagine 60-meter tower every 15 minutes? And that is what we did. Today we have 200,000 towers in the country. But that year, or that 2-3 years I'll say, we went all the way. We did our best. Our speed, our agility, our planning was fantastic. Our teamwork was fantastic. Teamwork of my employees, my vendors, my suppliers, you know, because when the tower has to be, not only foundations have to be laid, you have to get the steel, cement, and in rural areas, in highways, you know, and in 8,000, 10,000 feet hills of Kashmir, Assam, and Himachal Pradesh. Take the tower there, install it, get the radios up, you know, get the transmission up. So I'm giving an example of speed. How you can achieve speed. Second idea I want to leave for you is the idea of innovation. It's very important that you break the rules. Now this, I think Dr. Shimali and some other people may not like this. And your parents may not like it. You know. My daughters tell me, I have 2 daughters, my daughters tell me regularly, Papa, when we break the rules, you don't like it. But you tell us to break the rules. Anyway, so by break the rule means try to do the same thing in a new, fresh way. Don't try to follow what has been done in the last 10, 20 years. Try to do in a better way, in a fresher way, in a nicer way, in a faster way, in a more innovative. Because if you try to do the same thing as your father, or your elder, or your teacher, or your senior is doing, then what is your contribution? All this education actually is waste. You need to do something better, something new, something fresh. And I remember, I'll give you one example here again. In 2002, December 2002, and I remember the date, 6th December 2002, we sat down, we together at Airtel, we were at Agra, went for a workshop, small workshop of 10, 15 senior people, and we were really down and out. In the sense that we were a loss-making company, very small, maybe less than 1 million customers, and today, by the way, we have 300 million customers. And we said, how will we sustain large companies, BSNL, Hutchison, Reliance, Tata, Birla, which are 100 times larger than us, have much more resources, finances, people, will beat us. How do we compete with them? How do we grow? How do we sustain? How do we live? If we don't find a new innovative path, we will die. So we found a new path. So we decided something, which is a new business model across telecom world now. And we said that, okay, let us do what we know and let us not do what we don't know. So what did we know? We knew how to manage people, we knew how to manage funding, because funding is required. We knew how to manage brand, we built a nice brand. We knew how to work with government on regulation. So we knew 4 or 5 things, but we did not know technology, and that's why we outsourced all our networks to Nokia, Ericsson, etc. We did not know IT, and hence we outsourced all our IT to IBM. We did not know call centers, and hence we outsourced all our call centers to big BPOs. We did not know distribution, and hence we have 3 million retailers, all franchised out. We don't have even one showroom in this country. So I'm just saying we found a new path of outsourcing, which till that time was not found. It was a new innovation. And when we spoke to Singapore Telecom, who is our partner, they said, you can't do this. Don't do this. You will be in deep trouble. Anyway, we said, if we are in deep trouble, we'll come back to normal. But let us try it at least. And we tried and we succeeded. And today, if we are 300 million plus customers, number 3 in the world, I think it was because we were innovative. And it's very important to be innovative. It's very important to beat the old rules of the game and create some new rules of the game. Are you okay with this?
Yes.
Okay, third suggestion I want to make to you is to achieve a global outlook. It's very important to achieve a global outlook in today's time, because the world is one small world. Today on FaceTime you talk to your friend in Los Angeles or Tokyo or London in a matter of a second. And can you imagine your grandparents were writing letters and letters were reaching in 1 month to Los Angeles, and then after a month letter used to come back. So in 2 months' time the letter went and letter came back. What used to happen in 2 months happens in 1 second. So the world has become very small. And therefore for you, anything which happens in Europe, US, Japan, China affects you, affects the business, affects everything. So there is a lot of cross impact of whatever happens anyway. For example, the oil prices have gone down to $80. It has had a fantastic impact on Indian economy. Our foreign exchange reserves will improve, our inflation level will be reduced. So I'm saying everything which happens across the world impacts me, my country, my business, my company. Hence you need to have a global outlook. Hence you need to read a lot. Hence you need to travel a lot. Hence you need to have friends outside India, continuously interact with them. And hence in Bharti, as an example, we said we will grow outside India, and we have 20 countries outside India now, where we have Airtel brand. And there are not many companies in India. There are maybe few companies like Aditya Birla, like Infosys, like Wipro, TCS, maybe another 10, 20 companies which are becoming global companies in the next decade. And I think before we become global companies, we have to become global professionals. You know, so do read a lot, do study a lot, do look at. One thing which I started when I was in school, I started reading Economist. I'm talking of 50 years back, and my father introduced me to Economist. And from that day to now, I'm reading Economist. Because it gives you an international perspective and very good analysis of international events, which helped me in my business decision making. So, is this fine? Is this suggestion acceptable?
Yes.
Okay, good. Thanks. Okay, the fourth suggestion I want to make to you is about being sustainable. Whatever you do, don't do it in a shortcut way. A lot of people in India and a lot of families in India, they teach you jugaad. And I'm sorry to say, I think it's fine. I mean, you should know those things, but I think in the long term, that may not sustain. So it is better to take a long route for long-term success, rather than a jugaad route for a long-term success. Because jugaad route will be a short-term success and may not sustain. Whereas I think what India needs and you need is a sustainable success. And at Bharti, again, just to give you an example, we always have taken a long route. We have been speedy, we have been very swift, but we have never cut corners. We always try to do things. Our corporate governance is the best. We try to do in a sustainable way. As Dr. Saab was saying, we have 260 schools. That's also a sustainability initiative. So similarly, we have done a lot of sustainability things, like we have adopted Ludhiana district. We have approved 100 crores of investment in Ludhiana district. There are about 1,000 villages there. And we are saying every village will have toilets, every school will have girl toilets, because no school has girl toilets there. And so we are investing into that. So a lot of sustainability within the business as well as in the society initiatives of the company. So try for a long cut, because it will take you to long-term success. Now, some of you may not agree. I know your mind must be saying, what is he saying, you know? I can do it like this. Yes, you can do it like that. You will have success for 1 day, 1 month, 1 year. After that, you will have a problem. What I am suggesting is beyond 1 month or 1 year. Are you comfortable?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and my last suggestion, I come to that, we'll have to leave at 10:30. My last suggestion, which I think is most important. You know, there are two kinds of managers in the world. One manager is a very macro manager, a hands-off manager, who has a lot of knowledge and can give a lot of guidance. That's one kind of manager. And there's another kind of manager who is hands-on, who does it himself, teaches others how to do it, and really focuses on execution. And my recommendation to you is try to be the second kind of manager. Because the need of the country today, the need of the companies which you will join, will be of hands-on, execution-oriented manner. Now, you will say, don't we need knowledge? Yes, obviously you need knowledge. And because you will have a global outlook, you will be able to think 40,000 feet and understand a global environment of, let's say, telecom industry or textile industry or chemical industry. But within a matter of seconds, you have to come from 40,000 to this level, to a micro level, and solve that micro problem. Which means you have to train your mind to be macro and micro in the same minute. And that will help you execute much better on the ground, help your colleagues, help your people working with you, help your team to execute better, execute faster, and execute with high quality output. And at Bharti, for example, we follow this principle very, very religiously, that we do it with our own hands. In our company, we don't encourage too many consultants. So we feel that it's our job to think, it is our job to conceptualize, it is our job to execute. And you can't outsource your mind to somebody. You have to use your mind, and you have to grow your mind. And because of those ideas, your own ideas, you have to execute. Execution will be better because it is your idea, it is your concept. And hands-on managers have far greater value in tomorrow's world compared to managers who are really hands-on. So these were the 5 ideas I thought I'll leave with you. Practical ideas which I have followed and many of my colleagues have followed, not only in the company but in many other companies. And I think if you follow them seriously, you will be able to achieve great success, great satisfaction. And I believe you owe it to your family, you owe it to your country, and you owe it to MDI, which is investing so much into your future. So I wish you good luck. I wish you great future. I wish you fantastic success. And if I can be of any help to MDI and any one of you, I'll be happy to come back. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Puri, for that wonderful concept of agility and dynamism. I'm sure that we will not miss any beat. We know that we have to make India a preferred destination to facilitate the ease of doing business. And I'm sure each class of MDI will take up that initiative to adopt one village to undergo those social initiatives of Swachh Bharat. And thank you for giving those examples with which Bharti has grown to achieve sustainable success. Also thanking Dr. C.P. Shrimali for taking us back to the history of Delphic, from wherein it started in a room, and the Delphi method, and the social initiatives that MDI needs to take. May I kindly request Gunjan to present Mr. Kohli a token of gratitude from Team Delphic. Thank you, Mr. Kohli, for gracing the audience. And may I now request Vishwadeep to kindly present a token of gratitude to Director Sir. And the audience, we have a high tea session planned in the Activity Center. We thank you for coming to the inauguration session of Delphic. We thank Mr. Kohli once again for giving wonderful students of India this opportunity, and Dr. C.P. Shrimali. Thank you.